welcome to Kingsford Smith International Airport here in the beautiful port city of Sydney. In just a few hours' time, I will be flying with Jetstar on their brand new Airbus A320neo bound for Australia's most popular tourist destination, that being the Gold Coast.
Here we go now. Batman's group on the mic. Mixing the mix on the wheels of steel. This is what I was fucking born to do. Yes, let's go.
For those who are in my Discord server, you will be well aware that I was not initially scheduled to fly on this morning's flight. However, for those who aren't, I was supposed to fly on a selection of different airlines through New Zealand and Norfolk Island. However, due to one airline cancelling, I had to cancel pretty much everything and sort my plans out without delay. I managed to find this flight approximately 12 hours before departure for only $113, which, considering this flight was booked the night before, is an absolutely fantastic price. By now you are all familiar with Australia's low-cost carrier Jetstar, and they certainly need no introduction. However, what does need an introduction is the brand new aircraft that we will be flying on today, which is Airbus's newest A320 model, but I'll get to this later. For now, it's time to enter the terminal and begin the check-in formalities. Jetstar operates out of Terminal 2 at Sydney, just like most airlines. However, at the time of this video's release, Rex, or Regional Express Airlines, has moved to Terminal 3, with all flights departing from Gate 14, due to upgrade works that are being carried out at Terminal 2. As this video was filmed in early April, major development works are currently underway at Terminal 2, so keep this in mind when you next visit. Check-in for Jetstar can be done either online or using one of their autonomous kiosks, meaning unless you have to check a bag, there is no real need to interact with any staff until boarding. Jetstar's check-in area can be found on the right-hand side of the building on level 1, above the baggage carousels on the ground floor. The kiosks are absolutely fantastic and print high-quality boarding passes, which in my personal opinion make these the best kiosks on the market, far surpassing the Qantas ones. My only criticism of them is that you are unable to view your seat selection. This is something that Virgin provides on their kiosks, and I find it a bit interesting that Jetstar does not provide this service. Once I had tagged my bags, I joined the queue for bag drop. Bag drop took no time at all, roughly a 5-minute wait time. Personally, I think the way that Jetstar handles their operations at Sydney is near flawless. Besides one encounter, I have never experienced a long wait time, specifically more than 10 minutes. After the check-in formalities had been completed, up next was security, which also didn't take too long. However, one thing myself and many other passengers complained about was the amount of zigzagging we had to do to get to the actual checkpoint.
1, 2.
Once airside, there is a plethora of different things to do before your flight. You can eat, drink, shop, relax, and my favourite, plain spot. For dining, there is a huge food court located down the stairs after security, between the east and western piers. There is also several bars and a few restaurants scattered all over the place. There is also a newly renovated duty-free style shopping area with high-end perfumes and luxury items, but don't be fooled, these are not duty-free as you still have to pay the tax. Priority Pass members have access to the Rex Lounge here at Terminal 2, however I decided not to enter today, simply because there wasn't enough time to enjoy it before my flight. My flight today will be departing out of Gate 49, which is the northwesterly-most gate in the entire terminal, and upon my arrival, I was able to glimpse the aircraft about to take me north to Queensland, which today is an Airbus A320neo, registered as Victor Hotel Alpha 5 Charlie. Construction of this airframe was completed at Airbus's final assembly line in Toulouse, France in January of 2025, being delivered brand new to Jetstar only a month later, making this aircraft barely 3 months old. Boarding commenced promptly after my arrival, with all passengers being allowed to board at any time, in no particular order.
1, 2.
Jetstar's A320neos have a rather strange configuration with 118 standard economy class seats in a staggered 3-3 layout, with the final row only having 2 seats. This morning I shall be seated in 21 Foxtrot on the starboard side of the aircraft. Jetstar has opted for the Recaro BL3710 seat for their seats on this aircraft type, featuring 28.5 inches of pitch and 18 inches of width. There is a standard tray table that folds down and extends towards you. Above this, there is a device holder suitable for items up to the size of an iPad. In the seat back pocket, you'll find a safety card, buy on board menu, and an air sickness bag. Above are individual reading lights, air vents, and 2 flight attendant call buttons. Beside the device holder is 2 USB ports of different types.
1, 2.
Soon we commenced our pushback from gate 49, 2 minutes behind our scheduled departure time.
Thank you, customer. On board. Hello again. We want you to have a safe and enjoyable flight. So please listen closely while we take you through the safety requirements for our Airbus A320neo. You should now be placed either under the seat in front of you or in an overhead locker. Check that your seat back is upright, your tray table is stowed away, your armrest is let you see on board. Smoking, vaping, or the use of e-cigarettes is not permitted anytime, anywhere on board the aircraft, including in the bathrooms.
We taxied to runway 34 right via Charlie, Bravo 10, Sierra, Tango, and Tango 6. Now please enjoy this unedited takeoff. After takeoff, we made a slight course-correcting turn, heading out over the Tasman Sea and setting up a northerly course for Gold Coast. Flight time today is 1 hour and 5 minutes, covering a distance of 473 miles or 761 kilometers, cruising at 39,000 feet. Once airborne, due to the very northerly flight path, this morning's departure brought great views of not only the eastern suburbs of Sydney, but also a famous landmark of Sydney, that being Bondi Beach. Jetstar offers in-flight entertainment to all of its passengers. However, unlike Qantas and Virgin, it is not free, coming to a cost of $7. However, there is a free moving map feature which covers the basics and is certainly not as good as, say, ANA, but it certainly gets the job done. To access the entertainment, all you need to do is connect to the Wi-Fi and scan the QR code on the back of the seat in front. Jetstar offers a wide variety of different snacks and meals on board their flight for purchase. As I bought this flight through Qantas, my ticket came with a $10 meal voucher, to which I purchased a lemon tea cake and a scalding hot chocolate. Which, not gonna lie, it was a weird combination, and I definitely should have gotten a coffee, but then again they were both delicious. Taking a look around the cabin, the A320neo is near identical to Jetstar's standard A320. However, there are 2 additional rows in the back, and a pair of seats at the very rear, which would be perfect for a couple, with a massive amount of storage to the left, but unfortunately there is no window. Personally, I think the best seat on the aircraft is 31 Alpha, as you can recline freely without worrying about bothering the passenger behind. On board the aircraft are 3 bathrooms, 2 at the rear and 1 at the front. Inside is everything typical of this aircraft type and length of flight, including the Qantas branded hand soap. Soon we commenced our descent into Gold Coast. Gold Coast Airport has only one main runway, which roughly runs north to south. When flying in from the south, there is generally no issue as pilots make a straight-in approach. However, the same can't be said for the north approach, as pilots are forced to make a P&R approach, making a precise set of sweeping left-hand turns to avoid the populous city to the north. Despite being a perfect day back in Sydney, the same cannot be said for the Gold Coast today, which was windy and overcast. However, this meant for a stunning reveal of the coastline upon descending below the cloud line. Now please enjoy this unedited landing. After landing, we taxied to the domestic apron via Delta and Echo. We pulled into stand 6 right, 6 minutes behind our scheduled arrival time. As I stepped off the aircraft, I thanked the crew for the flight and their service, and I turned my attention away from Jetstar and towards reclaiming my bag and making my way towards Broadbeach. Before I give my final report on this morning's flight, I do have to mention that this aircraft is a nightmare for the Jetstar crew, with the PA phone being in the most awkward position possible, and not only that, this aircraft type has been consistently breaking down. Now onto my final thoughts, and as always, let's start from the beginning. The check-in experience at Sydney was a little bit busier than I'm used to, but it was easy and took no time at all. Other than the lack of seat selection on the kiosks, I would say they're flawless. On board, the seat was comfy enough for this 1-hour flight, but I couldn't imagine sitting in this seat for more than, say, 3 hours, unless the flight or destination was unique enough, but then again, this is what I expected for Jetstar. The food served on board was also what I expected, being simple and tasty, though I felt the lemon cake could be a bit more lemony, and the hot chocolate could be a little bit less hot. So, would I recommend you to go out of your way to fly on this aircraft type? Personally, I wouldn't go out of my way to get on board this aircraft type again. However, if this aircraft type was scheduled for a flight that I needed to take, like today's case, I wouldn't say no, as it's always great being on a unique aircraft in the airline's fleet. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment and subscribe, and make sure you check out the other videos I have posted to my YouTube channel if you want to see more. And I have said this before, but I now have a Discord server. Feel free to join if you want to chat with me. The link can be found at the top of the description. And as always, feel free to press the notification button too, as it will let you know when I upload again, which happens every Friday at 8 PM Sydney time. And I hope to see you again in the next one. See you later!